Hello, it is Diane with Diane's Blue Hearts and Butterflies.com, and this is a fun fold card that I saw that was made by Amy Coenders, and I wanted to share this, how to do this card. On my example, I forgot a layer, so I'm going to cover that in the video, during the video. I wanted to share the products that I am using that for this, and it's the marbled Elegance paper, designer series paper. It's a specialty one. It has gold foil in it, and this one is an online exclusive. And the brushed silver and gold foil, we're using the brushed gold one out of here, and this is again a specialty foil paper that is available as an online exclusive through Stampin' Up. And then the adhesive backed heart sequins. I saw these when they were coming out in the online exclusives, and it really inspired me to use this product, which is how I started searching for cards that were made with it. I'm also using the Hugs for Love bundle. This is in the new January to April mini catalog, and I'm using a stamp out of this one for this card, and then the rest of this for another card. Then I am using the My Small Business. There were a couple of stamps that I really liked in here for the cards that I'm making today. And then this one is in the main catalog, the 24-25 annual catalog, as well as the perennial postage dies I'm going to be using with that. And then I'm going to be also using a celebration item. This is the January, February 2025 celebration. And this, you can get this stamp set and die set, you can get free with a $120 purchase. So if you're going to be purchasing the merchandise through the Stampin' Up catalog, whether it's the online exclusives or anything in any of the catalogs, and your retail comes up to $120 or more, you can get this heart-shaped stamps and die set that is in that, and it's for free. And then I'm also using some dies that I have from some old retired sets, Give It a Whirl, Love Notes, and Sweet and Sassy. But there are many other dies and punches out there that you could use for this card. So let me, on my blog at www.dianesblueheartsandbutterflies.com, you will see that there is a list of the items that I used, along with the dimensions that I cut them out. And I'm just going to run through them here, but you can go over to my blog and be able to get these so you don't have to write them down. So this card basically uses the instead of a folded card base, it's just a single sheet of cardstock for the back. And this is 5.5 by 4.25, and this is in real red. It was coordinating with this paper. And you're also going to need a panel of real red that is 3 inches by 4.25 inches. That one is going to be a layer on the front. You'll also need a basic white layer that is the same, 3 inches by 4.25. This one is going to go inside the card, so you're going to be stamping on this piece. This is the brushed foil piece, and this one you're going to start out with 4 inch by 5.25, which is basically the same size as, or a little bit less. 5.25 by 4, so it fits like a layer on this back piece. but we're going to be cutting some things out of this. I'm going to try to show you how to utilize more of your product so that you're not just wasting sheets and sheets and sheets of it. And then you will also need the designer series paper. And this, on one side, it has the gold foil and marbled look, and then there's another colored side on the back. This one that I chose does have a pattern that has a direction on it. And so if you're going to do that, you want to make sure that you cut this piece so that the 6-inch is side to side, and the 5 1/8 inch is the top and bottom. So if it is directional, you want to make sure that your direction is going the right way, because when it's folded, you're gonna see this part inside on the inside piece. So you want to make sure it's going the right direction. We're also I'm going to walk you through the scoring on this as well as some cutting. You're also going to need a another piece of the designer series paper that coordinates, and I chose one that doesn't have the marbling, but that it's coordinates with the colors. And this piece, I just kind of cut a scrap that would fit the hearts that I want to cut out. This one is a 2-inch by 2-inch square, and then I also did about a 2-inch by 2-inch square of the basic white, which is a scrap that I'm going to cut another heart. In fact, let me see. This is out of Love Notes, but there are several others die sets. So I'm going to cut a heart that creates this striped heart here out of the white. And then I chose a couple of different sizes of the heart-shaped dies that I have. And I'm going to do the smaller one out of there. And then on this one, once I score this, I'm going to take and cut the larger heart out of this so that I can have some of this paper to go and take for one of these. So let me move these out of the way real quick so that I can also show you how I am going to be doing some of the others. First, let us go ahead and score. So with the designer series paper going landscape, so the 6-inch side is at the top, you're going to want to make sure that you're looking at the pattern the correct way, and the front flap needs to be 2 1/8. So there's the 2, and then there's on the Stampin' Up! Trimmer, it has markings at 16ths. So there's 16th, 8th, 3/16, and then a quarter, and then so on. So 2 1/8 is where I'll line it up. You want to make sure that you're using the lighter colored blade, and you don't need to push, and you don't want to push very hard on that for scoring, because this paper isn't very thick. It's not like cardstock. And I found, unfortunately, when I scored a piece that it actually tore. So you'll want to be careful with that. And I'm just going to use the bone folder to burnish that edge. And then I can open it up. I can see where this is going to be. And then that's where I'm going to cut that heart out of the middle, because after I've stamped on this piece, I'm actually going to be able to put this and cover that area. So you're going to utilize more of this paper that is really pretty and not have to waste more of the other sheets. So that is this. Let me get that out of the way, and then I can kind of talk to you about this. So on this, you're going to want to have the back piece be a layer between the Real Red cardstock back and this folded designer series paper. So it's going to line and create a little bit of a border around there. So that leaves a lot of this in the inside that you're not ever going to see. So what I did, I took the second largest postage stamp or perennial postage die, and I created the border that's even around it. And then this piece is actually going to go behind this piece of cardstock. So you're just going to see a little bit of that edge border around. So that leaves another section of it. But you want to be careful. I cut mine out of the middle and I can actually see through that. You could cover this up by putting another heart over that. It wouldn't be a big deal. But what I did is I just took this stitched heart cut out and I just lined it up kind of over on the left corner so that it's out of the way. And then I just ran this die through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine all together, and I ended up with 3 pieces. So let me move these out of the way, because of course with the magic of doing things on video, I have already done several of these cuts. And so that, I've already cut out that from the center. And then I ended up with these, oh, can't get it over here. So I ended up with these 3 pieces out of this one sheet of gold, brushed gold, so that I can use this on my card. So we are going to want to layer. I'm going to move that out of the way. And I like using the Stampin' Seal Plus for my card making, because it really sticks well, and it's more permanent so that it holds well. And I'm just going to put this around the edges. I keep going off, but you can see that you can just take and fold that part over, and that way you're not wasting anything. And do a couple more. And anywhere that it's folded wrong, this one, it's like it's scored or has little lines in it, so it makes it easier to fold over each little piece. They kind of fold a lot easier and they don't glub up. But anyway, here I'm going to put this on. Oh, I missed one. Fold that over. Put this, and I just kind of hold it up till I get the little border that I'm looking for, and then I lay it down. You can use whatever adhesive you like best. If you want a little more wiggle room, you could use the multi-purpose glue and be able to have that. So this, I'm going to create that layer that's going to go behind this designer series paper, because you're not going to see any of that in the back. So let me put some glue on this piece. I'm just going to put a little bit in the center here too. Wasn't sticking. There it goes. All right. So now I'm going to hold this up to create that little gold border around this piece. And if you do it, kind of hold it up a little bit till you get it where you want it, and then you press down. You'll have less boo-boos. This was what I did to cover up a where I accidentally tore or cut through. I just found some of my old washi tape, and I just kind of created this to hold that together where it tore, and just made it look intentional, like I meant to do that. So that's sometimes what we do to cover up some of our boo-boos, so to speak. Now, I did want to share the stamping that I did. So sorry, I set it off to the side. On these 2 pieces, for the card. I wanted to introduce to some new people that were coming to our class the heat embossing. And so I took a stamp, and you could do a Happy Valentine's Day, you could do whatever. And you can do this with any designs or themes or whatever. But anytime that you're doing heat embossing, it's good to have an embossing buddy. And you just kind of lightly go over where you're going to stamp that, because you want to make sure that all the oils from your skin and fingers and whatever don't cling to the embossing powder. And then you use Versamark ink. This is an ink that stays wet longer, so that it does stick to the embossing powder better. So it's best to use a Versamark ink when you're going to be doing this, especially if you're going to end up taking a little bit of time. And then you want to press and hold for a little bit so that it transfers that ink. And then I use just a coffee filter to put underneath. And then this is the gold embossing powder. And a little bit goes a long way. And you just kind of tap off the excess. And then this makes it a little bit easier for me to be able to fold up and pour the excess back into my little jars and get it out of the way. And then you heat set that. The one thing about this is once it's got the powder on there, you can set it off to the side and it's fine. And then when you go to use your heat tool, it'll heat it up and melt it at that same time. So I'm just going to set that off to the side because I did already do that heat setting, and it makes that powder, which looks kind of brown right here, when it melts and you heat set it, then it makes it more metallic, and it kind of gives it a little raised look. So that is that piece. And then I took some of the other stamps, and this piece is what goes on the inside, and I stamped the message from that free celebration item. It says, "My heart loves your heart." And I'm just going to stamp that right across the top. And you want to go straight down and straight back up. And then I also took this in the real red ink on the back of the card. This Handmade for You was part of that My Small Business stamp set. And I'm just inking this stamp up. You just tap. You don't push very hard because you don't really want the ink to get into the crevices. You're just wanting the ink on the surface. And then I'm doing this on the back side of the card just to give a little message, handmade for you. And then I took some of these other hearts that I had, or that were part of, I can't think right this second which one it's called. It was the Hugs for You. I took some of two of these hearts here, and I am going to stamp the larger heart in Flirty Flamingo. And I'm just going to put that down here. And then the other heart, I'm going to do that and Melon Mambo. Just some of the coordinating colors that go with this designer series paper. Just stamp those down there. And get those inks out of the way. And that one I'm going to set off to the side to let it dry. And I'm going to use the one that I did earlier. So this one goes on the inside of the card. And the reason I'm putting it on here first is so that I can line up the front to cover it. And I want this one to be kind of centered right inside. And then this cutout that I did, I'm going to make sure that this is over on the side over here so that it gets mostly hidden from the other side. And so I'm going to take and adhere, turned it over, adhere this to that brushed gold foil. Just leaving a little bit of a border. Again, I try to hold it up a little bit to see where I want it, and then I put it down. And then I will add glue runner to the back of this. Oh, hold on. Got ahead of myself. You don't want to go all the way over. Sometimes I can get it with this, and sometimes I need to get a glue eraser. I'll have to take that off later. You do not want to go, don't do what I just did, but you want to do about halfway. I'm going to get it off after I've got it on here, just because I don't want to hold up the video. So I'm going to be careful not to let the back side go down all the way. But you're going to want to line this up so that it's kind of centered, as well as covering where you've put your inside white. And then I'm going to get that off. But for now, I'm just going to put it here. So those hearts that I took, this is the heart, the large heart that I cut out of the back of that piece. And I'm going to put it on here. And then I did the other heart in this. And I'm going to put that on there, figure out where I want it to go. And then I have the gold heart. And put that on wherever else that it looks good. And then this white heart. And you put those on there. You'll glue them on with glue dots or adhesive runner or the multi-purpose glue, however you want. And then I also took the heart gold sequins and I put one of these on the front as well. And that is what I did to create this card. And so you can check out the blog post for the dimensions and the products that I used. And I hope you're able to have fun with that, and I ask that you will like and share my videos to get the word out about my channel. And also, if you'd like to see when I upload other videos, you can click the bell icon and it'll notify you when I've uploaded something new. And I appreciate you taking your time with me, and I hope that you had fun. Thank you.